Hello, my name is Claudia, this is Gary, and today we'll break down Warrior 2 from a downward facing dog. So starting in down dog, and if you haven't seen our down dog video, be sure to check it out. In down dog, hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart, and then inhale right leg up and back. And just step the right foot up between the hands, drop your back left heel, just bring your arms up parallel to your legs. Yeah. So you want to have a long enough stance. You can get your right thigh parallel to the floor, heels in a straight line, back foot pretty much parallel to the back of the mat, get your toes slightly further forward. It's really important this is a supported posture. So as you can see, Gary's nice and low in the posture, but not sinking into the hips. The way to get that is to kind of squeeze the heels so you get your inner thighs active, your outer hips active, so you feel like your waistline is sort of lifting up out of your hips. Spine is straight, arms are parallel to the ground. It's important your traps are a little bit soft. When your arms are extended, sometimes your shoulders want to hunch. Pull your shoulder blades down the back, and make sure your fingers are nice and tight, kind of squeezing together, karate chop hands. That way you get lots of energy in your arms as you stretch nice and wide. Feel like your shoulders and your hips are pretty much flat against a wall behind you. And think about eventually getting your chin over your front shoulder, getting a nice neck stretch, but really focus on your drishti being right over the front of the top of your hand. Great. Some common errors in this posture. It's a really easy one to kind of get too short. So if you shorten up the posture, you see it's just not a very strong posture. We really want to get an opening for the inner thighs. So with a nice long posture, we get to sink down into the hips, but again, that outer hip squeeze is what gives us the lift. Another really common mistake is the knee bowing in. That's just really normal if you've got tight hips, but encourage your kneecap to be tracking right over your big toes. That way you get nice alignment all the way through the hip joint and you don't stress out your knee. Another error is that you might be leaning forward a little bit, and sometimes you won't catch this unless you have a side mirror. So it's very important. This is a little bit easier than doing it normally, right? So when you're leaning forward, you're kind of getting out of the active area of the posture. So you want to just bring your upper body back so your spine is nice and straight. Other than that, just make sure your front foot is facing forward, and again, a really strong active squeeze, and make sure your drishtis are right over your hand. And this is a beautiful example of Warrior 2. Namaste.